Yes, with the global sort of crisis that is going on at the moment, Mulan was slated to be released this year in cinemas, and I've got to say I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't because it's such a big spectacle. But we're going to get to that. But Disney Plus released it this weekend on their streaming service for some money. You have to pay to get this movie, even though you've already subscribed to Disney Plus. You have to now pay to watch this movie. But I'm just going to go straight off and say it is worth every penny. It is really, really good. Now, before I get into this whole thing, I have not seen the original animated version. I've never seen it. I've seen clips online. I know the story. I know all the the basics, the ins and outs, the beginnings, the middles, and ends of the whole movie. But it's just not one I've ever got around to watching. I'm kind of thinking about watching it now after watching this live action version, because I want to know what the differences are and the similarities. The only one that I know about is in the animated version, there is a small dragon played by Eddie Murphy, who, from what I've seen clips of, is very good and very funny, but they steer completely clear of that character for this movie. A lot of people were upset by that. Again, without seeing it, I don't know why there is upset. So I'm going to have to go and see the animated version to understand why it wasn't included in this and what we kind of missed out on. But yeah, Mulan, the live action version, very, very, very good. Absolutely, it's action packed. It's very heartfelt. It's very well acted. There's a lot of funny moments in it. It is everything that you want in a movie. It hits all the beats that you kind of wanted to hit. Now, if you haven't seen Mulan or know of the story, the basic kind of concept is it's ancient China. There is an emperor, and his whole kingdom is under attack from these kind of northern rebels led by the brilliant Jason Scott Lee. I absolutely love Jason Scott Lee. I think he's so great. One of my favourite movies growing up was his version of Bruce Lee, the Dragon, Enter the Dragon. Absolutely brilliant movie. Absolutely brilliant actor. He is so good in this as well. He doesn't say a lot, and he doesn't really get a lot of screen time. But the time that he is on screen, he's very menacing and he really does take control, and you can tell he's just an evil so-and-so. I nearly said a bad word then. But yeah, the kingdom is under attack. So they have to go around and get one man from each family to kind of represent the army. And Mulan's family is a very elderly father, a mother, and Mulan and her sister. The father offers himself up to go and join the army, even though he's in quite a lot of pain. You know, he's got his leg is strapped up, so he can barely walk, let alone fight in the war. But it's all about honour. It's all about, bringing honour to your family and to your community. So he's going to do it. But Mulan, in the night, sneaks out with his armour and his sword and runs off to join the army. But she disguises herself as a man because, women can't be in the army. They should be in the kitchen. There's at least one joke like that, but I think throughout the whole story, it's not focusing too much on the fact that she's a woman disguising herself as a man to be in this army. It is more focusing on the fact that she's honouring her father and trying to protect him, and at the same time do what is right. So it's not one of those kind of stupid women dressing up as a man to try and infiltrate and all these sort of tacky kind of gags that you would get in them sort of situations. Like I say, it is reference, women should be in the kitchen, but she's just sort of like, shut up, that's not funny. And it just kind of brushes right past it, which is very kind of refreshing. But yeah, she joins his army and she spends a lot of the time training, trying to hide the fact that she is a woman because she doesn't want to bring dishonour on her family. Eventually, during one of the battles, she is revealed to be a woman, and they all just straight away assume that she's a witch, which is it's brilliant, that kind of assumption that just gets jumped to, that she's a woman that can fight, so she's obviously a witch. But then she helps out and they go off and fight the big battle, and spoiler alert, save the day. She saves the day by leading the army into battle because she is shown to be the best. It's all very, very, very crazy. It is so good. The whole kind of story, like I said, the whole story throughout is about honour. It's not about the fact that she's a woman trying to deceive people and trying to, like, you know, just be a man because she feels like she's better than men. She's doing it for her family because she doesn't want her father to go off and die in battle. She'd rather die herself and save him. So it's more about that. It's all about how she is trying to learn to be herself as well, because she has grown up and she had this kind of, they call it chi. It's almost like a power. She's always had this, and she wants to sort of prove that that was not just a mistake. She wants to be, you know, accepted for who she is, and it does kind of slip out. And the whole time, the villain, Jason Scott Lee, he has got a woman on his side who is seen as a witch. Because she has these powers, everyone just says she's a witch, she's a bad woman, so she kind of does these bad things. Because I think she kind of gives off the point that people don't accept me. They are scared of me because of what I can do, so I might as well just be evil. That's kind of her arc. She's just like, well, if people think I'm bad, I'm just going to be bad anyway. And she comes into contact with Mulan quite a bit, and she tries to convince Mulan that with her powers and the fact that people will not accept her for who she is, she should come over to, you know, the dark side. But Mulan, she has honour, and she says no, and she goes back and saves the army and reveals who she is. And there's the whole kind of stereotypical, you're a woman, you shouldn't be in the army, you fooled us all, this is not fair, you get out, if you don't go we're going to kill you. And then she goes off, but she comes back. It's the kind of stereotypical points that you're going to hit in this kind of movie, which you kind of need to get from A to B. I understand that, but I don't know why they couldn't have just gone, oh wow, you're a woman and you did all this, that's pretty cool. I know this is ancient China and we don't really believe in stuff like that, women should be in the kitchen, ha ha ha. But yeah, you did quite a good job. So yeah, let's go and finish off this war that we're kind of fighting. But no, we're going to get rid of you, even though you're the best kind of soldier that we've got. We're just going to get rid of you because that's not right. You're women. Bleh. No, only men are men. I get why they did it, but it's kind of, you know, you don't really need to do that. Like I say, a lot of the movies that do this kind of thing are very stereotypical and didn't really need to bring that point in. But you know, they did it, and it didn't last long. It wasn't a whole kind of soul-searching moment. It wasn't this whole, you know, another hour of the movie where she's got to kind of prove herself. It was a case of she goes off, finds out some information, comes back to the army, and, you know, they threaten to sort of say, you shouldn't have been here, you shouldn't have come back, we should kill you by right. She's like, well, if you want to kill me, but I've got some information first. And everyone's like, I'm behind you, Mulan, and all of a sudden they all sort of change their tune and they let her lead her into battle. So it's kind of, it is very quickly resolved. Didn't really need to go down that route. They could have just done that straight away, but I get why they needed to do it, to get to the point where she finds out the information to come back and, you know, prove her loyalty, which is all this whole thing is about. So the story is pretty decent. It's a good story. Like I said, the action is incredible. Some of the fight scenes in this, the CGI, the whole scope of it was just so magical and so intense. It brings me back to the sort of movies that I enjoyed as a kid. One of the things that really jumped out at me was, I really enjoyed Red Sonja when I was growing up. I absolutely adore that movie. And this kind of gave me the same kind of vibe. You know, women that, you know, shouldn't be in battle, but they're kind of proving that they are better than, you know, not better than men, but, you know, they're on par with men. Everyone should be equal and they should all be able to do what they want to do. So, and even the witch lady really reminded me of Queen Gedrin from Red Sonja. As soon as I saw her, I automatically jumped to the villain of Red Sonja, and I just thought the parallels are so insane. And it's, you know, they're both really good movies, but yeah, Mulan, absolutely insane. All of the acting in it was great. Some of it was a bit wooden, but I can only assume that that's because some of these actors maybe not, you know, English is their first language, so maybe it is their first language, but they're more used to speaking in their native tongue. I don't want to assume that, but some of the acting was a bit wooden, but overall, you kind of forgive it because of everything that's going on. You don't really focus too much on the words that are being said, but more the message. So it's kind of, it's not a big deal to kind of focus on that. And I had absolutely no idea until I looked it up afterwards, but Jet Li was the Emperor. This absolutely old decrepit dude that somehow has all these powers. He fights at one point with some cloth and beats up, 6 guys, and it's just, that comes completely out of nowhere, and it's just absolutely insane because the whole time he's just kind of sitting in a chair and he just looks like this old dude. Comes out of nowhere and beats up loads of guys. That was Jet Li. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. And it was just crazy when I found out that's who he was. But yeah, all of the acting was great. The leading lady, I'm not going to say her name because I will butcher it. I think it's Liu. She played Mulan, and she was incredible. I think trying to convey the whole emotion that you have to get this character to convey, that she is a woman struggling to survive in this man's world, but she's not doing it to prove a point. She's doing it because she wants to save her family, and she doesn't want her father to go out and die, essentially, and she wants to just bring honour to people. So she does an absolutely amazing job throughout the whole film. There's so many action scenes that she has to do. I can tell there's a lot of CGI involved, but I can imagine there's so much wire work going on in this whole thing, and she would have had to do quite a lot of this, and it is just incredible from beginning to end. It's really good. It's really heartwarming. There's no musical numbers. I think from what I know of the animated version, there's only musical numbers in the first half because that they want to convey that kind of fun side to it, but then in the second half of the movie, when it's about the battles, they don't have songs. So I'm glad they didn't bring any musical numbers into this, because you don't need it. That will distract from the story that they're trying to tell and the whole point that they're trying to make. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. I just think the whole thing wrapped up really well, and I wasn't really searching, I wasn't really gonna go out of my way to watch this movie. But I am so glad that I did. It is such a fun ride. I will happily sit down and watch this again because it is that good. It is worth every penny. Definitely watch it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like and maybe subscribe to my channel. And yeah, Mulan, pretty great. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.
My ancestor sent a little lizard to help me.
Hey, dragon, not lizard. I don't do that tongue thing.